Hello everybody, welcome back to Made at Midnight, and as you can see we have a special episode. It's all about StxL. He has 11 accounts in C2 CWL, managed to go perfect on 7 of them, missed by only 1 star on 3 of them, and this last account somehow missed on 3. I'm guessing he didn't have the proper equipment selected or didn't have them upgraded. It's hard to keep 11 accounts up to par. Alright, so we're going in with StxL. And all of these strats are the Yeti Clone Blimp DRAGS. And what he likes to do is clump the dragons up close to his AQ so they can distract defenses to keep his AQ safe, and they can push forward and eliminate some of the defenses that might cause his AQ problems. Blimp close to the Town Hall, clones forward, rages over the Yetis, Yeti might spring forward, take out the Town Hall, Dark Orb through the middle on this island monolith. Even has some Yeti mites distracting the monolith. Goes down. AQ still healthy. Gonna wrap around to the right. And you'll notice he always saves a freeze and 1 invis to help his AQ and his RC. And a lot of times he deploys the RC close to his AQ so they can synergize together and help keep each other alive. Drops this poison that he didn't need for the clan castle troops on enemy Archer Queen. Archer Queen goes down. And now he's just dropping in the RC to take out this ricochet cannon that would be very troublesome to his AQ. Also gets his air defense down. Now he's got a drag. Minion Prince. Yeah, base is over with. Of course, had to drop a little bit of a swag. Very nice StxL. And let's see what we have in store for the next hit. And I just gotta say that it is absolutely hilarious looking through the current war events in regular wars and seeing his accounts absolutely mowing down the enemy team. I always feel bad for the enemy team. War can be seemingly going okay for them, and then all of a sudden they just get StxL'd. Like our own Gatling gun. So appreciate all the clears, StxL. Alright, coming back in. Yeti Clone Blimp again. Definitely one of the most reliable strats in the game. Now pay attention to this air defense bottom left. He's going to show us just how close you can get to an air defense with a giant arrow without taking it out. But that's alright. He's got all the drags. Eternal Tome right over top of the drags. Once again all clumped up. However, the drags weren't able to distract this multi-gear tower, so he has to drop an invis to protect his AQ. You want to keep your AQ alive the entire raid if possible. Yeti Clone Blimp into the Town Hall, and notice he clones towards the right side of where the Town Hall compartment is, and he's doing this to clear some defenses to make a nice thin channel for his AQ on the outside. Keeps his AQ alive, and now she can get a bunch more defenses. So that's a really nice touch. Much like with an RR attack, how you use an overgrowth to keep your RRs close to your AQ so they can distract for your AQ to synergize your heroes and your troops. The exact same thing with drags. Clone to the side of your AQ. Uses the Dark Orb, freezes up some defenses for the drags, uses the freeze to stop that ricochet cannon from targeting his AQ. Once again, he's got his RC meeting up with his AQ to help, taking out this defense. Uses the Seeking Shield, Rocket Spear, takes out the Ricochet Cannon, last major threat. Multi-Archer Tower about to go down. Awesome hit, StxL. And if you want to learn how to do this strat, definitely pay attention to this video because he has got it perfected. Alright, so moving into War 3. And they had some really good opponents in the CWL C2 lineup. They're putting up 42 and 43 stars and still coming away with losses. Alright, StxL again with Yeti Clone Blimp again. Got 3 clones. Giant arrow through the base. Clumping up these drags again. Frosty on the AQ. Important to note, Frosty on the AQ. Frosty helps stall up these multi-targeting defenses. And the best use for a Frosty is to stall up a ricochet cannon. Manages to get the blimp right to the Town Hall. Drops the rage right after the Yetis come out, so the rage lasts as long as possible. AQ benefiting from a little bit of this Warden heal tome. Tesla Farm pops down here, bottom right. And yeah, that's the nice thing about this Yeti Clone Blimps. It completely demolishes the core, creates two nice channels, one for the AQ and some drags, and one down here at the bottom for some drags and the minion prints. And he was able to use the Dark Orb to freeze up a lot of these defenses. Now his drags can just push through, got his AQ working through. Really don't see too many more defenses that could be a problem. Wondering if he's about to swag his RC. Tornado Trap springs. And the only defenses that could be problematic remaining are these multi-archer towers, because he will come in behind the fire spitter. So yeah, no need for RC. I'm just wondering if he's going to drop RC to help clean up, or if he's just going to swag. Swags on the, yep, classy. Phoenix coming over to finish off this army camp. Very nice. And yeah, I often see him swag his RCs. Definitely a strong strat. And this definitely seems to be meta, seeing this a lot in Clan Wars. Here we have StxL and Envy the Law going up against only Lalo. He's going up against Demo. Giant arrow through the base. Drags clumped up next to the AQ. Warden Eternal Tome. Healing Tome. Blimp flying all the way across the base. Clones forward. Rages towards the Town Hall. Notice this channel here to the right for the AQ. And that's the crazy thing about his hits. He keeps the AQ alive pretty much every time throughout every hit. AQ about to encounter a little bit of danger here with this ricochet cannon. He's got a few drags in the center, dealing with an enemy super dragon. Minion Prince stepping up to this Minion Prince compartment, which looks a little dangerous. So he goes ahead, drops an invisibility spell, and he's trying to keep his Minion Prince alive long enough to get targeted by the enemy Minion Prince. Now, since the enemy Minion Prince killed his Minion Prince goes to Phoenix and has 8 seconds to kill the enemy Minion Prince. And the enemy Minion Prince is one of the strongest defenses in the game. You want to get rid of him if you can. So that was a smart way to use the invisibility spell to make sure that his Minion Prince ended up winning the fight. And it looks like he is about to swag his RC again, it looks. Just has his ricochet cannon. Ricochet cannon with these Teslas actually looks like a very deadly compartment, because his AQ is going to get stalled up by this builder hut, by this mortar. Ricochet cannon locks on. Oh, he's definitely trying to swag the RC. Freeze. Come on, AQ, come on. Use the Seeking Shield. Skeletons pop. Nice hit, StxL. So we're going to do another one on Ninja, just because Demo and Ninja are pro players, so fun to see their bases and see how to attack them. And I believe this base looks a lot like the base that Itsu was running. Alright, so giant arrow through the base, clumping up the drags. We've seen this before. Baby drag on the opposite side of the AQ to funnel, help keep the drags on the inside. Again, he's got a ricochet cannon targeting his AQ, and that's why you want to have Frosty. Dark Orb through the core. Yeti Blimp takes out the Town Hall. More Yeti Mites coming through the center to clear the center to create nice narrow channels on the left and right for the drags and the AQ. Baby drag over here at 9. Help funnel these drags in towards the core more. And that'll help get those drags to eat through the defenses faster to keep the AQ alive longer. Goes ahead, makes the AQ invisible. Minion Prince encountering this Fire Spitter. Goes to ability. RC's into the base. Goes ahead, uses Seeking Shield. Goes invisible, takes out this Ricochet Cannon. And another swag. And that's something you can do ahead of time too. You can see the radius, the reach of the Ricochet Cannons and try to figure out where to pop your RC ability before she gets within range of the merged defenses, so she can outrange them, keep her health as high as possible. So nice win against only Lalo. Here they have a loss against Kazakhstan, both putting up 44 stars. So this is kind of an interesting base. I believe I've seen Ninja hit this base with, just an episode or two ago I saw Ninja hit this base with Super Miners. So Yeti Clone Blimp, Blimp right towards the Town Hall. Dragons right at this heavily stacked compartment bottom left. Once again, a Super Drag in the Clan Castle. Super Drags must be the CC of choice to try to defend this strat. So now his AQ is pushing to the right and has to encounter 2 ground expos. So let's see how this works. Also, he's going to have to go up against this Ricochet Cannon. Yeah, he invested the freeze, invested the invisibility spell, all to help his AQ. Goes to show just how strong the AQ is. So now he's got these healers floating through the rest of the base. Also, if you want to intentionally get healers to float through a base after your AQ goes down, you can bring 2 archers, drop them on the exact same tile, and it only takes 2 housing space to trigger and pull healers. So now he sends his RC. He's going to deal with that Ricochet Cannon immediately and target this single target Inferno Tower. Very important. Also, he's going to be targeting this Fire Spitter and Air Sweeper. An important RC in behind the Fire Spitter. So yeah, AQ went down early. Still base is wrecked. The strat is very strong, and if you're in need of a reliable strat, definitely a quick one to learn. Second from the last hit. He's got a heavily stacked core next to this Town Hall, so Giant Arrow to trigger the invisibility spell tower. Clumps up the drags, got the AQ walking on this nice channel. Makes all his drags, loons, blimp invincible. Goes towards the Town Hall. Rage, waiting for these sweepers, and intentionally drops his blimp before the sweepers could push his Yetis out of that compartment. And now that they're in the compartment, they just absolutely destroy the entire core, create very nice thin channels, again, for his AQ and his drags to work with. He's got this Dragon Rider working on this Ricochet Cannon, hoping to get that down really quick. And notice his single target Inferno Tower next to the Clan Castle. He's got his RC here to help his AQ deal with that. Goes ahead, uses RC ability. Takes out the mortar. Ricochet Cannon about to help with that single target Inferno. Keeps the Queen alive. Now the Queen can help with the cleanup, help distract for everything. Base is absolutely wrecked. A little bit of swag. Letting them know to subscribe to this channel. Very nice. Thanks for the plug, StxL. Going to finish on the Clan Castle, and this is the end of the second to the last hit. Just one more to go. So yeah, important to note, AQ, ability, a bunch of dragons clumped up somewhat close to the AQ to help keep the AQ alive, baby drag on the opposite side of the AQ. Help to funnel. This is an interesting base, a lot of dead zone around the Town Hall. AQ manages to clip both the Air Sweeper and the air defense on the top right side. Dragons all clumped up. Warden ability. Blimp flying through the core. Uses the clones to bring some of these Yeti mites back towards these Inferno Towers. And AQ is about to encounter a section. Look at that. Dark Orb covers up the scatter shot. I really wonder if that was planned, because that was very nicely done. Covers up the scatter shot portion to keep the scatter shot from killing his AQ, and also freezes up the enemy AQ. So his AQ is fine now. However, she will not be able to reach the scatter shot. It's out of range. So he puts a freeze on top of the air defense to get his minion prince to take out the scatter shot and keep his AQ alive. And now he's sending in his RC from 9 o'clock to help deal with these defenses to further keep his AQ alive. And notice how the Expo is distracted on the AQ, so nothing's even targeting his RC. Now that the Expo is gone, that multi-gear tower was out of range for his RC. It could not target the RC, so Pop's ability keeps RC full health. Giant Bomb gives RC a little boost to the outside to finish up this hero haul. And base absolutely destroyed. That was a really nice job with the Dark Orb freezing up the scatter shot and the enemy AQ to keep his AQ healthy. And then freezing up the air defense to let his minion prince deal with the scatter shot. So excellent job, StxL. Thanks for being so consistent and mowing down all the bases in regular war as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you again next episode. Bye.